Bezos Earth Fund. Always delighted to have you with us on the program. You know, talking of what we've been talking about, I see you've got this new plan of super leverage, where you're hoping that various mandates on certain things will create tipping points. I'm a bit weary of hearing that we're at a moment of super leverage and this is going to solve the problem.
Oh, Richard, you shouldn't be weary of anything. Look, we should be weary about the state of the world economy. It's difficult. We should be weary about the war in Ukraine, but we shouldn't be weary about big ideas that are going on right now. You think about it, this decade, every single year, we need to close down 925 coal plants if we are going to get to the target of limiting global warming by 1.5 degrees. Right. We can't do that unless we're able to mobilize some money. So we've got to be thinking big, and the kind of initiative that we've been discussing here in Davos is precisely designed to do that.
Except you end up, not you personally, but one ends up going in circles. Give you an example. On the climate finance debate that I did, everybody agreed that something needed to be done. Everybody agreed what needed to be done. Everybody agreed that there was the money in some shape or form to act as leverage. And I kept coming back to this problem. So why isn't it being done fast enough?
Well, it absolutely isn't being done fast enough. I agree with that wholeheartedly, but consider sort of nature protection. 2 years ago, there might have been 20 countries that were willing to support something called 30 by 30, 30% of the world's land and ocean to be protected by 2030, a huge ambition. What we did with other philanthropists, we put $5 billion on the table of grant money, and we said, look, could we work with governments in Africa, in Asia, in Latin America, and in Europe and the United States to see if we could do something. It turns out now that last December, all the countries of the world, 195, agreed to protect 30 by 30. Why is that related to climate change? Because if we don't protect the forests of the world, we will fail. And now what's happening, we met this week with governments in Indonesia, in Brazil, in various other countries, to say, what would a deal look like? And now we're going to go in and try and do it. It is not easy, but we've got to keep doing our very best.
But why do I get the feeling, God forbid, it's going to take a real crisis, climate crisis calamity before people actually make the commitments? If you just think of every COP invariably ends up as Alex Stubb would say, a suboptimal result. Every negotiation is tortured to the nth degree.
Well, it is. There's no question about that. The problem at the moment actually is not commitments. You know, 110 countries are committed to net zero, $130 trillion of assets under management are committed to move to net zero through their entire portfolio. The difficulty now is delivery. We now need to deliver on those commitments. But, you know, it's really interesting here in Davos. You know, obviously a lot of discussion on the world economy, a little bit of more optimism there, a little discussion on security around the world, but probably the biggest subject being discussed in Davos is the green transition, issues of trade, issues of investment, issues of policy, and issues of fairness and justice. And it's quite interesting, you know, all of these guys want to discuss this. We now need just to deliver. And
I see you're still in Davos. Hopefully you might even get a chance to ski before you go home. Lovely to see you, sir. No, that's exactly the answer most people have about it.
Well, the trouble, Richard, there's not enough snow at the moment. And there you go. There's a problem. Why we need to address climate change.
Thank you, sir. Glad to have you with us
Great
tonight.
to see you, Richard. Thank you.
The Chief